Hello guys, British Fox here, with another Let's Try Saturday. I'm hoping that, due to the reception on this shall be moved to Saturday instead. I may also be planning to upload another video today on City Skylines, to take advantage of the free weekend, which I personally played the game on other consoles and it's favourite of mine. So anyway, back to the Revolution. We are playing as Jack Reed, leader of the Combined Syndicate, and have just broken free from the grasps of the imperialists of the United States. And we are going to be defending the revolution with force. We shall teach them of our peaceful ways by force, basically. Ooh. Ah. I forgot that due to this being the home of the brave, this is going to be slightly different, but this shall make things a bit more interesting. That means I'm not too prepared. Oh. Yeah. Things are going to be a lot more different. And I'm guessing... Okay. We're going to do cruisers and Western Command Center. Yeah, so I already thought that the base game one is pretty bad, but you know, yeah, well, not pretty bad, but like pretty interesting. Okay. Nonsense. The state legislature of Illinois has invited the IWW to discuss the current crisis and looming deadline issued by the federal government. Jack Reed accepted this offer and held an informal meeting with several trade union leaders prior. Reed made clear that the situation was dire. The SBA needed to unite behind the IWW in order to survive the conflict. The silent agreement meant that the traditional SBA leadership would be reorganized along industrial unionist lines, with each union representative allowed a single vote. The SBA immediately and unanimously pledged their support for a social revolution through direct action, not diplomacy. So say we all. Now, I'm not so sure how this will go now, as it's really interesting seeing it go like this. Okay, Sam's got root. We don't know how to shape with opportunists. The revolution. We need to deal with these. Okay, so we're gonna deal with Minuteman. Okay, so we're gonna be weakening Minuteman resistance, as we really need to be careful around all these militias. We are going to be feeding the revolution with more factories. We are going to be basing them around, if we could, hold them in New York. Actually, yeah, so that's what we need to do around the states, that way it's not lost too easily. So, we can need minimum resistance. Military debates. Ooh. The Revolutionary Congress is yet to decide on a coherent military policy, as each political faction puts forward their own plan. The IWW is backed upon that relies on industry to outproduce the other factions in the arena of mechanization, believing we will eventually have too many industrial advantages for them to beat us, like the Union in the First American Civil War. And as such, they call it the Union Plan. The Social Patriots, however, support its medley Butler's idea is to create an organized Republican army that relies on more traditional leadership and command of our superior numbers and industry to defeat the enemy. The collectivist syndicates and most radical anarchists oppose both plans, but not relying on the revolutionary will of the proletariat, noting that the workers will simply overwhelm the reactionaries, and this is more consistent with Marxist principles. They put forward a mass mobilization plan that will be led by Foster supporter Jack Schulman. While the centralist faction have backed a plan that relies on an industry similar to the IWW, but instead desire focus on sheer power to blow the enemy away from citizens. For James Burnham and Earl Browder, both backing the plan. So I am planning to go for Toastism. So these two plans are already up. So collectivist or centralist? I do like the idea of mass revolution, but I also like the idea of going for an elite army which won't be ploughed down too easily. So I think it's best. This is going to be a really fun war during all the training on the border. I'm going to unleash more militia soon. So I think our plan would be to take out New England, since it seems to be sticking in American hands, Federalist hands. Then transport these units that have been freed up to the lower front, taking out the corridor, which is now just encirclement, and moving these troops to the American Union front, Union States front. So I think, looking at the focus tree, okay, so I was looking down there, this is the military one there. It would be nice to overwhelm, but then it would be nice to have a professional army which can stand on its own 2 feet. So I think, for the sake of the revolution, we shall go, looking at the bonuses here, the collectivist plan. Okay, well this shall impact us for the rest of the game, but numbers is always helpful. So wait, are large numbers, we just need to do this. Kind of low on equipment, so we can't train new troops, besides through militias. Okay, we have the March Revolution now done. The Illinois General Assembly agreed to deliver the fiery broadcast describing the wealth of America and the syndicates, declaring that direct action against capitalist society was a vital necessity for all Americans, and that the federal government's deadline must not only be ignored, it must be defied. Telegrams from the Third International poured to support Reed's SPA, exciting the attendance. A vote was called to begin reforming the American capitalist economy into an anarcho-syndicalist economy. This referendum, signed by attendants, declared the Federal Reserve null and void. The IWW was appointed to the Labour Chamber for the new syndicalist government, and the selling of company shares declared illegal. The representatives, satisfied with their success, have returned to Chicago to organise the armed revolution. Ye pluribus unum. I haven't said much Latin, so please pardon me there. I don't think that's the most big news for the moment, but yes, Baltimore. Most dire thing on our mind. We shall recruit from Ohio. And it would be good just to add to this one for survival, but you see, we only have half. Normally you get at least half of Indiana and the other half of Illinois. I suppose that means less front to do, so it can be helpful. There's only like 2 troops around this front. Okay, I think... How much factories? It's actually not got much military factories, so it wouldn't be too bad abandoning New York. I don't want to go down without a fight. Okay, well... Anyway. We shall put it under a general... yeah. Leader, put you here. Okay, well that was accidental, but let's hope this isn't stab me in the foot too much later on. Smedley. If they take around New York and Newark and Trenton, that way a unified front line can be done. For now, damn it. Okay, no big cities around here, so I think it's best if we do a front line like this. Here, abandon there. Okay, back that over a bit and go like I need to get into New York. Okay, so we're forming a defensive line and entrenching. Okay. Which one of these would best help our... We're not going to be going close right, so that's without the question. That's good. If we go, I think we should go for division organization, as we need a whole out. The general strike, whose goal has been to protect workers from federalist tyranny, now moves to cease the means of production. The Red Guard have ordered the evacuation of Lower Manhattan, plans to both seize the gold in the Federal Reserve Bank as well as dismantle Wall Street. In this delegation were reporters who were allowed to watch congressmen carry safe boxes away for safekeeping in the cargo. These items are put in the trust of the IWW, who have elected Norman Thomas as their Undersecretary. Several SBA politicians were arrested in Washington D.C. for meeting outside the Eccles building, ordering the Federal Reserve Chairman Eugene Black to hear their positions. Okay, so now that we could select this force around, should be under new general. And let's see if there's any more infantry ones. No, it's best if we go for a higher skill level. Maurice then, and then we shall modify this to where we can go focus on this line. And set up a battle plan to take all the way back to like Albany. This is Albany, isn't it? Maine. Albany's not, yeah, Albany's here. I don't remember the name, but considering the whole not American thing. Deadline looms. Okay. That's accidental choice, but I hope that was cast related. Okay. So New England shall be ours. Okay. Balkans are going crazy, but you know, I think the more dire situation would be this. Okay, interrupted. Okay. Second American Civil War. Here we go. Ah. I see that Canada is just straight up 8 New England. Okay. Well, I guess I can half this to be like 5 and then no 5 in here. Okay, well. At the offset of the revolution, John Reed placed the IWW as the model and future successor to Congress. This grants us the rapid support of the left radical side of Congress, such as the IWW, anarchists and phosphorites, at the cost of alienating those who are not fully bored with syndicalism, despite being sympathetic to pro-labor socialist ideals. And instead look to the right wing of the Congress, the AFL, better than its independent league. A new path for America to follow that is not as extreme as syndicalism. Syndicalism between the two is Brown Lewis. American Workers' Party and CAL come to favour a more centralised syndicalist model, albeit in quite different ways. Social patriots are already calling for a one-time universal citizen vote to side meaning congressional seats rather than a purely working union one, leaving the American people more generally should be given the opportunity to express a different conception of socialism if they desire it. Syndicalists and even more so collectivists are disgusted by this suggestion, believing it would just be a chance for social reactionaries to hijack the revolution and would give a chance for the bourgeoisie, petite and otherwise, to override the will of the worker. As the argument gets louder with every day, they are forcing us to make a decision, although favouring one would likely weaken the other, and think through a pro-syndicalist stance might turn off potential supporters. It is a syndicalist nation now. we are going to go for collectivist military. How much are we losing in Charleston? That's a lot of factories to lose. Revolution is secure. The social patriots will constantly political influence while gaining their own. With the majority of Congress controlled by syndicalist unions who have the lion's share of control, it's clear that the social patriots will have to take a backseat to the revolution, hoping to gain whatever favors and influence they can to prop up local power bases and get rewards for members. Now, we should accept all these volunteers, and we have got more factories now. Okay, well, we're going to be maxing out production of guns, followed up by support. And then we're also going to be getting artillery. Actually, is artillery even used now? I mean, the only thing we don't have is our most expensive fleet. Let's give it a rise, and then we are going to be trading for it. If there is a nation that would. Nope. Okay, that's just going to have to be stalled, sadly. And we can't manually add or remove. We can add these troops. So one of these shall be going over here. The rest, we half that. Added there, and the rest should be put under a new general. Maurice here shall get. Okay, no fighting is yet to spin. Okay, that's a lot, but we're already holding them off. Our reinforcements are coming. Directive 10. Redistribution of material assets. Now that the revolution has begun, we must decide what will be done with the bourgeoisie. The IWW claim confiscates all their wealth and redistributes it to people immediately. The up-and-coming vanguard has called for the immediate arrest and execution as well, citing the fate of Vladimir and Lenin as an example of a revolution defeated by leniency. SBA members belonging to the depreciated AFL, along with several loyal progressives, have sought life over death, asking the Central Committee to only appropriate what is necessary for all and keep their materialist constituents happy. The wealth and the lives are ours. Okay, so we're going to be collecting those provinces, and our lines are holding. Dominion of Canada seizes Alaska. Yeah, Canada's just really being fun. So we're holding the line. With seemingly no casualties, which maybe it's featured here. That one. The old Democratic. Okay, well. We are one of the few which have the ability to marshal Washington. Once we have enough manpower. Which it is nearly time. We shall attend. And New England's got set up as a puppet. Okay, the volunteers have arrived. And we're going to move this front line back to Philadelphia. Okay. I can see the third ball on the Patagonian Workers Front. Trying to solve. And there are Federalist rebellions going about, which is scary. Probably led by Patton himself. Okay, well, it seems that the volunteers are already fighting. Yeah. And they are actually having some victories here and there. So it may be worth it soon enough. Okay, so the first Spartacade's opening ceremony was held in Paris, attended by dignitaries and athletes from around the socialist world. The French team carried the torch, British team the hammer, and the other teams carried the pieces of the cog to the location where they were to be assembled. When placed together, they formed the international symbol of syndicalism. What a glorious day for the working man. Okay, so pro-relieving cultivation restored. You can read this if you want. Sorry for being a bit on and off about reading. I'm just trying to stick to the ones important to our revolution. We should look at the casualties at this point. We have 1,000 and the American Union State 5,000. Okay, this is where the workers will advance. It's cool to keep them pinned. Just take. And now we are going to edit this front line again. Actually, is there militia available? Yeah, we should have done militias. We'll call for emergency reserves. We'll push on the federal front. And then we'll recruit 15 militias over to New York City. Okay, but kind of nearly. Support the black belt. Shall support the black belt, allowing us to send the enemy. And we shall use our emergency reserve. 2 over here, and then we'll send 1 indirect over to here. Okay. Okay, well, some members of the bourgeoisie, particularly in Chicago, decided they will flee to the CSA. Thousands have sought refuge within enemy territory, especially from the illegitimate Canadian government. The thieving scum have taken whatever of the stolen wealth they could carry with them, as they have escaped the revolution. Okay, I'm just gonna have to let you read these two, and then we'll cover Directive 76. For those who are well educated, either warmly or through bitter experience, revolutionary thoughts come easily as thieving. However, many of our comrades, whether in the steel belt or elsewhere in America, have been lied to their entire lives by the capitalists and do not understand how the revolution frees them. Many do not give their heart and souls to the revolution, some even attempt to sabotage our efforts. I aware that we are the only force that truly cares for them. This must be remedied, and our comrades must be deprogrammed. Should we focus on reaching those in our territory, keeping our own morale, or should we spread our message throughout enemy territory and sap their will to fight the liberators? We will focus on the socialist family. And now that we're kind of reaching a point where the lines have stabilized. Okay, hold. We're going to be putting these militias down here. We accept more volunteers from France. Seems basically cycle charging here. Which I'm not so sure. Okay, we've got massive assistance, 500 guns. And down here we are really pushing. Okay, I think it might be worth considering opening a front line, or starting a front line at least. Now that we have a collective enemy. It'll be a bit risky, but we can hold off. These capitalists are not a match or socialist mind. Okay, single. These rebellions are actually pretty strong. But scary, we're going to do mechanical computing and reinforced reaction. Okay, we're holding off in the north now. Which will hire more. Well, call for the revolution to spread. British assistance, we've got volunteer aviators now. Ah, that probably would explain some things too. There's air superiority, interception. Can it just about? Nope. Okay, well it's best if we keep around the mid-Atlantic then. And do CAS support as we're kind of on the offensive around there. Around here, skies are kind of, it's going in our favour a bit more now. We need those British volunteers to really ease up the tide. So here we're finding difficulties breaking through. Here, we're just about holding the line. And our new comrades and allies are going to be helping. Some of these orders are messed up, man. Okay. And we've got French assistance, which allows for a factory. Our production. Swing mainly to the defensive, sorry. This bulge would be interesting to exploit. We actually broke through. Okay, the system now. We're breaking through Baltimore. Another general out here. Okay, we're advancing to Washington. And we've taken around here, which means the volunteers should be freed up to act. Yep. The crisis has been resolved. Let's see the result. French. Yeah. Seems got given back. We shall now go for equipment. Actually, I have equipment. I need to delete that line. Increase this and organise it. Military first, then convoys after the trade. Okay, so some volunteers are obviously feeling defensive. Some of our defences are going a bit bad due to scrambling of the lines, but the fact that we push on Washington itself is never successful, shows the beauty of our revolution. We just need to keep them occupied. Luckily this is just about within the North Atlantic region. Washington is about to fall. The feds will not know what's coming. The fall of Washington itself. The syndicate militias have advanced towards and captured the symbolic capital of the United States, Washington, D.C. They stormed the Capitol building amid strong resistance. Eventually, they broke through, and the flag of the Combined Syndicates of America now flies over the US Capitol. Rumors are that syndicate militias have been rounding up all political representatives they could find in the city to give them a trial. Until unconfirmed sources claim the most important government figures have been evacuated during the battle, but their current whereabouts are unknown. The central government has been thrown off its golden throne. Now, okay, well, I'm going to need to pass, and then hope to get most of these states, as these shall be handy for production. And maybe grab this too. Yeah, I think that's it then. Nothing else. Oh. Technically, I could claim this for temporary factory gain, and it might be worth it then. Pass again. Here. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, it's gonna be considerable, but we get some factories out of it. The front advances. Okay, we need to delete this now. Hopefully reorganize quickly enough. Point where yep, the feds have been destroyed. The military has been done, and we shall call to the masses. Once the frontline organizers, I believe this would be a good point to put the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it on this Let's Try Saturday. Hope you want to watch more of this playthrough due to its interesting spin on the American Civil War. Okay, one last choice and then I'd say it would go for today. Sentencing of the pre-war capitalist politicians. As the revolution nears success, the people demand that we deal with the corrupt capitalist politicians in office before the revolution, who now rot in ourselves. Some believe that by having these politicians work hard, labour for a few years, they will empathise with the worker and can be converted to our cause. Others believe that no amount of education can reform them, and they must remain behind bars for the rest of their lives. A small but vocal minority insists that they must be executed for their crimes, like the Romanovs or the Bourbon dynasties of old. It is now our turn, and we shall not make excuses for the terror. Okay, the front line's now organised. We're holding off pretty much everywhere. We've lost some places, but overall, it's remained firmly in syndicalist control. And we have new volunteers should be added to this army here. We should go recruit 7 in Michigan, and that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any suggestions for the route I should go, you can. I'm planning to go mainly totalist, but if you want me to change that, I can. But bye for now, hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below, subscribe please, it helps me out and helps you out by reminding you when the video arrives. And if you like the video, well just like it.